In this video, I'm going to talk about how to create a mail merge with Word and Excel. Also, please subscribe if these easy how-to videos help you, and let's get into it. So I'm going to explain what's going on so it's easier to understand. Here in Microsoft Word, I have a letter that I want to send to some people that applied for a job at my company. The letter is pretty much an acceptance letter, and when I go to my Excel sheet here, I have a list of people that I want this to go to. I have their names and addresses, but I don't want to send this individually to every single person. That's what we're going to do today with Mail Merge. So the first thing you want to do is go over to the Word document, and then at the top, go to Mailings, and then click on Select Recipients. Keep in mind that depending on your version of Excel, this Mailings tab at the top might be called something else. Now, while you're in Select Recipients, click on Use an Existing List. It's going to give you this pop-up box that'll allow you to locate where that spreadsheet is on your computer with all the names. Mine is in my downloads, so I'm going to go there and find my Excel file and hit Open. Here, it's going to give you a few options to pick from. Each one of these represents a different tab that you have in your Excel file. If you only have one, it's just going to have that one listed. I have a few tabs, but the one I need is called Applicant Information, so I'm going to select that. Also, it's helpful if your Excel has column headers, so make sure it does, and then make sure this is checked, and then hit OK. Now, when I click Edit Recipient List, it's going to give me a list of the names and all the information for the people that I have in the Excel file. I have the freedom here to uncheck any names if I don't want this going out to a certain individual. I want to send mine to everyone, so I'm going to keep it just like this, and I'm going to hit OK. So now I'm ready to start importing some of my information into the Word document. I'm going to highlight this right here because here I have an instance of somebody's name. While it's highlighted, I can click on Greeting Line at the top, and it gives me an option to insert a specific greeting line. I can change the dear to something else, or I can keep it just like this. Here, it lets me pick if I want just the first name, just the last name, or any other combination of their names. Here to the right of that, I can select if I want a comma after the name, or a semicolon, or nothing. Underneath it, it says Greeting Line for Invalid Recipient Names. So whenever there's an error, or Word is having a hard time picking up the name from the Excel file, it can use one of these generic greetings without the person's actual name. And then underneath that, it gives me a preview of how the names will actually look. So this is coming from my actual data. I can click this right button here and go through all the names just to make sure that it's populating correctly. This looks good to me, so I'm going to hit OK. You can see how Word typed out greeting line here, so I don't need the actual greeting after that, so I can just select it and then hit delete. Now I'm going to highlight the applicant's name here at the top, and then I'm going to select Insert Merge Field. For me, I have their first and last name in separate columns, so I'm going to select first name and hit Insert, and then I'll select last name and hit Insert again. And then I can close. I'm going to fix this formatting here just so it's a little bit cleaner. Next, I'm going to highlight the entire address and then click Address Block. And it's going to give me a preview here of how my data is going to look with the addresses. If any of these don't look correct to you, you can click Match Field here at the bottom right, and you can manually tell Word which field to pull from your Excel file. This looks good to me, so I'm going to hit OK. And now I can delete the actual address and everything else that I had previously. Before I create the final document, I like to click on Preview Results up here just to make sure there's not any errors or anything else happening. So I'm going to click it, and it looks like the first name is repeating. And also there's no space between the first name and the last name. So what it's doing here is it's pulling the first and last name when it's pulling the address. So I can actually just delete this first instance of that first name. And then I can click this right arrow to make sure if the rest of the names and addresses look correct. And everything else looks good now. So now I'm going to click Finish and Merge. If I click Edit Individual Documents, it's going to create a document for every letter that it's generating. So 15 separate ones in my case. If I click Print Documents, it's going to print all 15 copies to a printer directly. And if I click send email messages, it's going to give me the option to send these as an email separately. The email option is good for when you have their email info in your Excel file, because then it's just going to email that person directly, but I don't have that information in my Excel file. But these are your options, and you can select whichever one that you like. So that wraps up my video. If this helped you, then please do subscribe and be on the lookout for more easy how-to videos. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.